Not realizing I was taken aback, my husband boldly declared, "Alice, let's sell your parents' house. It's a great deal. She helped us out, so we got this amazing offer. Overlook my affair, will you?" "No way I am selling it, you cheater. Enough with the disrespect. My name is Alice. I've been married to Tom for 5 years now. Our beloved son has just turned 4. Ours was what you might call a shotgun wedding, and we had our child soon after getting married. We've been trying our best to navigate parenting together. We hope to continue supporting each other and even wanted another child." I assumed my husband felt the same way. However, his enthusiasm for parenting suddenly cooled off around the time our son, Mike, turned 3. It probably started with Mike's terrible twos. As soon as adorable Mike began showing signs of independence, Tom checked out of parenting. Given his tendency to quickly lose interest, it's surprising he focused on parenting for 3 years. Around the same time, something shocking happened. My parents fell one after the other and passed away. It's ironic that they were so close yet had to go to heaven at the same time. To maintain the family home they left behind, I've been going back once a month. I have a brother, but he lives far away and works, so the house's upkeep has mainly fallen on me. Houses deteriorate quickly when uninhabited. So, I do things like air out the rooms and weed the garden. The family home is an hour's drive away. Tom used to accompany me at first, but his visits became less frequent, and now it's just Mike and me. Mike loves running around the spacious house and garden. I'm reluctant to let go of this house that holds so many memories. It's been 2 years since my parents passed away. Maybe it's time to let go of the house. These thoughts cross my mind. I came home a bit earlier than usual one day to find an unfamiliar car parked in our driveway. It was a cute, compact car. Inside, there were several large stuffed animals, like the ones you win at arcades. Why is this car here? I had a bad feeling. Holding sleeping Mike, I quietly opened the front door. Cute pumps were haphazardly left by the entrance. And along the hallway to the bedroom, clothes were scattered. Shirts, pants, dresses. I felt the blood drain from my face. I knew immediately whose clothes they were. They were my husband's. But the dress wasn't mine. Nor did I recognize the pumps. Someone else must be in the bedroom with my husband. Why, how, why? Part of me was panicking, but another part remained calm. This was an affair. I needed evidence. I started recording the situation with my phone. Should I confront them now by entering the bedroom? That's right, I thought about bursting in and confronting my husband and his affair partner. Just then, sleeping Mike murmured softly. His voice brought me back to reality. What if my husband lashed out in anger, or the affair partner caused a scene, putting my son in danger? I'd never considered my husband to be that kind of person, but suddenly I was worried. With a heavy heart, I decided against storming into the scene of the affair. I turned back, went to my car, and took a deep breath. I won't let him get away with this. Just before the time Mike and I were supposed to come home, the front door opened. Out came a flashy, gal-like woman and my husband. They were all smiles, waving goodbye to each other, even sharing a kiss at parting. I made sure to capture that moment with my camera. Mike was being looked after by my friend. My friend readily agreed to my abrupt request, please take care of Mike for 2 hours. I'll explain later, without asking any questions. I don't know what's going on, but you can talk to me about anything, she said. So reassuring. So grateful. Right after the affair partner left, I stood up. First, I'll confront my husband. The affair partner can wait. Feeling like I was about to have a fight, I opened the door to our house. I'm home. Wah, welcome back. That was quick. My husband was clearly flustered. Of course, he would be. The clothes he'd scattered were still lying all over the floor. The bedroom was probably still a mess. That woman, if you're going to cheat, at least clean up your mess before you leave. Who was that just now? Wah, what do you mean just now? His agitation fanned the flames of my anger. Unbelievable. I have proof. Don't play dumb. Admit to your affair, you scumbag. Kissing right at the front door, how does that make you feel? No way. My husband yelled, then fell silent, his mouth opening and closing wordlessly. Like fish in a pond. Who is she? What's the meaning of this? How long has this affair been going on? She was introduced by a senior, and we've been seeing each other since last Valentine's. Since last year. That's unexpectedly long. And last Valentine's, that's around the time he lost interest in parenting. Neglecting our beloved son for his affair partner? Unbelievable. My husband was flustered, looking around frantically. I have something to say. Don't expect that I'm going to listen to anything you say. Just wait a moment. With that, he ran to the living room and came back with a stack of papers from the dining area. Look at this. My husband aggressively pushed the papers towards me. Reluctantly, I glanced at them. What's this? A real estate sales contract? That's right. Is this some kind of quiz? Here's the question. When the wife confronted her husband about his affair, he produced a real estate sales contract. What exactly is the husband trying to communicate? As if I could solve such a tough question. I skimmed the papers with growing irritation. As I read on, I felt a growing sense of urgency that this couldn't be overlooked. Because the documents detailed the sale of my family home. Wait a minute. Why is my family home being sold? My husband's affair was a bolt from the blue, but selling the family home was utterly unexpected. Apparently, the correct answer to the earlier quiz is, the affair was for real estate purposes. The truth seems even more elusive now. My husband began to explain. That woman earlier. Mia, she knows this incredible woman named Layla. Layla is into all sorts of businesses, even runs seminars. And she's really impressive. I've been to a few seminars with Mia, and even my parents have come to trust Layla completely. She even knows celebrities. She's offered to buy your family home. It's a win-win, she gets the property below market value. And we get more money than going through a realtor. I met with Layla today to finalize the deal. So, Mia, the affair partner, and now a new character, Layla, have appeared. Connections with celebrities. Seminars. Real estate transactions. My excited husband. Things are starting to make sense. My husband's interests have shifted to a very dubious area. While it's ridiculous, it's also somewhat understandable. But I don't want to be involved. Oblivious to my dismay, my husband made a bold proposition. Alice. Let's sell that house. No one's living there anymore, and it won't be a problem if it's gone, right? We can make a fortune from this unnecessary property. Isn't it amazing? Mia made this great deal possible, so overlook my affair, will you? What? And you know, Mia told me about this great new property for sale. Let's use the money from selling your family home as a down payment and buy it. What are you talking about? I'm talking about our future. It's a spacious, beautiful house with a guest room. I can host seminars there. And when there's no seminar, I'll invite Mia over. Sounds great, right? I'm appalled. I felt all the strength drain from my body. You're being scammed. This is a shady deal, you should back out. I was about to say this but stopped myself. Here's a question. Why didn't the wife scold her deceived husband? The answer is simple. Because he's no longer my husband. Overlook his affair? How dare he plan to sell my precious family home without consent? Invite Mia to the guest room? What does he intend to do in a house where his wife and son live? Have I really been married to such a fool for 5 years? No, I refuse. What? I raised my voice from the depths of my being. I refuse. How dare you propose selling my family home for some scoundrel like you lowlife. I was surprised to hear myself use the word scoundrel, but at that moment, it hardly mattered. What? That's going to be a problem. We'll lose Layla's trust. I couldn't care less. I threw the stack of papers away. I'm leaving this house. Where's my travel bag? In the bedroom. The very place my foolish husband and Mia were getting cozy. Damn, I don't want to go there. But I have no choice but to fetch my bag. Ignoring my husband's wailing, I packed our things. I grabbed whatever was important for me and Mike and left. No way I'm staying here any longer. After leaving the house, I picked up Mike. I explained to my friend that I had barged in on my husband's affair and gave her thank you sweets for her sudden help. She sympathized and expressed her concern. Then, I knocked on the door of a law firm to discuss how my husband was trying to sell my property without my consent. I also mentioned his obsession with dubious seminars. The lawyer listened empathetically. The consultation fee was $50 for 30 minutes, not cheap at all. I paid a total of $200 for 2 hours. But it was worth it, as I learned all the possible measures I could take. My husband called around noon the next day. Let's talk, he said. It was his lunch break. My guess is that he spent the previous night crying to his parents, overslept in the morning, and finally decided to call during his lunch break. His tone suggested he thought I had cooled down by now. Right. I've cooled down all right. All my love for you has completely vanished. Yeah, I think we need to talk too. Right? You suddenly ran off, and I was worried. That irked me, but I held back. Arguing wouldn't get us anywhere. Maybe it's impossible for us to continue as a couple, don't you think? Exactly. I feel the same way. I can't believe you can't see the greatness of Layla and Mia. If you were willing to move to the next stage with me like my parents, maybe we could have continued as a couple. No, that's not going to work for me. What's this next stage he's talking about? Let's not get sidetracked with unnecessary comments. You live freely with Mike. I'll have a good time with Mia and my parents. We're getting a divorce. Understood. But I'm not selling the family home. Oh, about that. His serious tone lightened a bit. Give me that building as alimony. What? It's only natural for you to pay me alimony since you can't appreciate the connection with those two. Listen, this is America. You're the one who had to pay child support to me since I will take care of Mike alone. That's where you and I differ in understanding. Enough already. I don't need the law according to Scoundrel Island. I'm done engaging with this. Fine, I'll get a lawyer. It's better for you to just hand it over quietly than to go through a lawsuit. I wonder if my husband has a lawyer versed in the laws of Scoundrel Island. Go ahead. I'll also get a lawyer. Based on American law, I'll demand child support. And about the divorce, I want it done now. I could almost hear my husband's deep sigh over the phone. Annoyingly so. But the thought of me bringing divorce papers to his office must have been too much for him, as he showed up at the municipal office promptly. My husband and I didn't exchange a single word as we filed for divorce. 2 mom friends came along to sign as witnesses. At this point, even Layla and Mia's signatures would have been fine by me. After divorcing Tom, I took Mike and returned to my hometown. I decided to live in the now empty family home. I left all the troublesome dealings with Tom to my lawyer. Within a few months, Mike had fully adapted to the new environment. His terrible twos were starting to calm down. Fortunately, he didn't seem to miss Tom at all, so I had no regrets. I started working and was leading a fulfilling life. Then one day, Tom called. I didn't want to answer. That's what lawyers are for, right? Ignore, ignore, ignore. But the enemy was persistent. He called over and over from morning till night, and I finally snapped. I decided to answer the next call. It came within 10 minutes. This is it. Time to settle this. Stop bothering me. If you want to talk to my lawyer. Whoa. Is that the first thing you say after so long? Yeah. It's been months. But after being ignored so much, he should give up. What do you want? I apologize for the rough language, but under the circumstances, it's understandable. You're living in your family home, right? Yes, but then why can't you submit a change of address form? What? As I coldly responded to Tom's irrational outburst, a possibility crossed my mind. It was advice from the lawyer I had consulted before the divorce. I need it to sell your family home. Give me the address. Are you still on about that?
Yeah.
My point will prevail eventually, so you'll have to sell the house sooner or later. I just bought a new place and need the money fast. So I thought we'd get the paperwork done in advance. No, your point won't prevail, you know. Your lawyer is American too. Both lawyers were trying to find a middle ground through negotiation. According to my lawyer, the other side's lawyer is exasperated because Tom keeps insisting on legally untenable points. If it goes to court, Tom's lawyer might resign. Just curious, what were you planning to do after getting my address? Layla told me all about it. If I change your address and then I can change the building registration. You wouldn't know that, being clueless. But when I tried to change your address at the postal service, they said it didn't match the current address and wouldn't accept it. I wrote down your family home's address correctly. What gives? Changing the address and the building registration, huh? You know, that's a serious crime in America. Eh? Serious? What part of this is he focusing on? There's no doubt, this was the scheme that the lawyer I consulted, Brent, had warned me about. Changing someone's address without their knowledge, and then rewriting the property registration to sell it. Such schemes exist. To prevent becoming a victim, I temporarily moved my residency registration to a location other than my family home. It was my brother's place. Tom has no idea about my brother's address. He vaguely knows it's somewhere in that state. And just in case, I've also restricted access to my residency information. So, Tom can't change my address on his own. And selling my family home without my permission is even more out of the question. Thank you, Brent, for the advice. Crime? That's rude. I was just doing as Layla instructed. To Layla, you're just a handyman willing to commit crimes. And you probably had your affair partner Mia write a power of attorney, right? That's forgery of private documents, and using them is another crime. But, I already signed a contract with Layla for your family home. Mia said she had experience forging signatures and told me to leave it to her. Then Mia and Layla are accomplices. They're conspiring to frame you. What? Maybe Layla finally saw through Tom's foolishness. Probably, the plan to sell my family home got exposed to me too soon. The divorce happened in a flash. Negotiations related to the divorce weren't going smoothly either. They couldn't figure out how to take the family home from me. So, thinking they couldn't milk him anymore, they sold him a new property and ran away. Well, that's just speculation. Thinking of Tom bewildered on the other end of the phone, it's both pitiful and sad. Lately, Dad has started saying something similar to you. That Layla and Mia are suspicious. That we should consult the police. But that can't be. Oh, my father-in-law has come to his senses. Good for him. But it's no longer my concern. I think you should listen to him. After all, you're someone who easily gets heated up, loses sight of everything else when you focus on one thing. And can't distinguish between good and bad. You're just a fool. So, don't ever contact me again. With that, I hung up. Feeling refreshed after saying what I needed to, I blocked his number. Now, I can just watch from the sidelines. Afterward, Tom heeded his father's advice and went to the police, leading to the swift arrest of Layla and Mia. Turns out, the couple was in the business of fraud. Indeed, they had been targeting Tom all along. Unbeknownst to me, they had swindled a significant amount of money from Tom and his parents. The new property they introduced was actually second-hand. Tom and his parents were on the verge of being stripped of everything. Going to the police saved them just in time. However, Tom was scolded by the police for attempting to sell my family home without permission. He was lucky not to be prosecuted this time, but it would have been prison for him otherwise. I'm just relieved that Mike's father didn't end up a criminal. The incident is somewhat settled now. I changed my address to my family home from my brother's place. What an ordeal it's been. Later, through his lawyer, Tom inquired about the possibility of remarrying. As if. I told him to focus on paying child support instead of entertaining such convenient fantasies. It was not Tom but his parents who showed understanding to my blunt reply. Reflecting on how they had been misled by the Layla and Mia couple, they paid child support on behalf of Tom. Right. Being swayed by your son's affair partner is just crazy. Normally, you'd get angry and say, "Don't you dare cheat, you foolish son." Tom is expected to diligently pay child support every month. I've taken this experience to heart, reminding myself that I must raise Mike well. I am determined to nurture him into a person who can distinguish between right and wrong. I'll teach him how fraudsters operate, so he knows to avoid them. But maybe it's too early for talks on fraud and money. Mike is happily running around in the spacious backyard of my family home. Mom. I caught a grasshopper. Wow, that's great. Let's release it later, okay? Seeing Mike's bright smile makes me feel content. In this house where I grew up, I'll live freely and happily with my son, just the two of us.